Peace. Welcome to another broadcast of I Have a Testimony. I'm your host, Brother Willie Muhammad, and we'll be right back with our guest.
God came to us to seek and to save that which was lost. He raised a man from among us.
He, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, laid the foundation. What I'm doing is something that comes from him through me, and the thing that he uses in me to do the work is my faith in him and the word that he taught. To produce men and women who wanted to clean up their life and build an independent nation for the glory of God.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. And once again, I'm your host, Brother Willie Muhammad. And today we have with us he's a hip hop legend. You know, he's a rapper, record producer, record executive. He's from Fillmore, San Francisco, if my research is correct. He has produced music he's produced over 100 albums. Yes, over 100 albums. And he's worked with such artists as Daz the Dillinger, Master P, The Game, Messy Marv, and many others. He is one of the most notable hip hop artists who has and is making his mark in the hip hop industry, being independent. And I can't wait to hear him talk more about that. So today we have with us our brother, JT, the Bigga Figga. So right after we show this clip, we'll be back and you'll get the opportunity to hear more from our brother during this interview. Peace.
Sometimes your family is in need. Sometimes there are people making offers to you to continue down the path that you're going down, which got you popular. But once knowledge entered the situation, then it's more of a responsibility. And I can honestly say that January 4th, 1995, I officially came into the Nation of Islam. In 1992 is when I first went into my first meeting. But those 3 years prepared me for the job that was going to be placed on my shoulders, in which I didn't know it was going to be a job. I thought it was just about me and myself learning the word of God and doing what I have to do. But when the business aspect is put in front of you, it's like now you have to make a serious choice, because by 1995, I had just signed with Priority Records. Me and Master P signed the same week. I was doing his marketing for him, and I was doing my marketing for myself. But the same year was the year that we was going to do the Million Man March. So now I'm faced with my album drop October 10th, and the Million Man March is October 16th. So, you know, what type of words am I going to put into this album that is going to allow me to still make money, but then also represent what I'm part of now? So I dumbed my album down a whole lot in terms of, I don't want to say dumb it down, but I changed the content up so much that it was a drastic change that cost me a little bit of my fans, because people were saying, you know, why you not talking about what you just was talking about? So it was a hard thing to deal with. And, you know, and I put my faith in Allah. You know, when I learned that he came in the form of a man, I felt a little bit more comfortable in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad. I felt a little bit more comfortable that he was going to take care of me.
Peace, peace. So you heard our brother and you heard him share his thing. Let me bring him on. Assalamu alaikum, soldier.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Good, man. Thank you for this opportunity, my brother, for granting this opportunity. And I can't wait to hear your story and to also, you know, to provide the audience with the opportunity. I could tell you just back from the continent, you could tell he's a hustler, he's a worker, because he's been back grinding, man. Our brother's all over the net. And I'll just start off with this first question. First, can you begin by telling us, how did you first become involved with hip hop, and then some of your accomplishments as a result of you getting involved?
At 14 years old, I recorded my first songs, but hip hop was dancing. It was break dancing, spray paint your name on the wall. That's the beginning thing of hip hop for me, is seeing those aspects. It wasn't so much like performing or writing songs or nothing, but by 14 years old, I went and recorded my first 6 songs. From there, when I recorded them, they was just for my personal listening, for the homies in the hood. You know, we young, we want to be rappers. That's my introduction. By 92, I released my first real 6 songs in June of 92. When I did that gave me the confidence to want to be independent. creating your own content in your house and releasing it to a market to actually sell it to make the money. That's what made me get a lot of motivation, because I didn't need a job no more. I could just sell my tapes and make money. So that's my introduction.
Good, good. And you know, we opened up this show talking about some of the artists that you work with. And can you take a moment to talk about some of the artists that you work with and some of the artists who you help to put on that independent hustle, you know, in the rap industry?
Um, well, it's so many artists. If I go back to the beginning, I would have to say the rapper San Quinn, Demo the Youngster, Sep the Gaffler, Master P, Rich the Factor, Daz Dillinger when he left Death Row. I helped him. I helped Juvenile when he left uh, Cash Money. I want to say Young Thug, the Migos, Future.
Mm,
All of these artists, I was at the beginning stages of their careers. So I'm not taking credit in no way for none of their careers. I'm just
right.
a person that can help inspire someone to take the more independent approach, because signing your name on a piece of paper, you could be in a bad situation. You
Yeah.
know, just because you signed a paper so quick without understanding. When you independent, you understand that your product is your money. So you better think before you before you sign something. Yes, sir.
And that's something, man. I will say and bear witness consistent in all of your interviews with all of the people that you have helped. You don't talk about it as a point like I started them. You know, you never come across like that, and I think that that shows your heart. You just tell a story as it is in the history that how you share with them stuff that your grind and it helped them to use it and how they went on into the actual industry as well. So my next question is that you know, we hear more and more artists talking about becoming independent and the benefits of such, right? You know,
Yes, sir.
however, you were one of the first, one of the first to go down this independent path in this hip hop, and you still are on it pretty much now. What made you do so, and why don't you believe many other artists have chosen that path?
Um, well, I definitely got to say the motivation and inspiration came from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and hearing him say independent, like using that word, like black man, you got to be independent. You have to do for self. Independent is actually a natural thing. You know, in Africa, they independently go plant their corn, and they independently pray for the rain, and they independently, go pick their crop when the corn, when it's time to harvest the corn. They independently raise their chicken, their goats, their cows, and then they independently have to slaughter one every now and then for dinner purposes. Being independent in the rap game is using what you have, and I think it's more popular to be independent now than ever, because waiting for a record deal, only a chosen few get the record deal. It's like only a chosen few make it to the NBA or to the NFL. You could be good, but to actually make it, it's some other circumstances got to be in play, and you got to play ball. You got to really be hard, to just get discovered like that. But you can grow yourself independently, and I think that's why it's more popular nowadays than it was in the past.
And then as it talks about, you talked about that independence and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, just the nation. I remember reading a book one time. They were saying it was like a part of the Nation of Islam's theology, right along with believing in God and prayer to push do for self, do for self, do for self.
Do for
And
self.
I came across several articles that mentioned how you produce we start off saying that over 100 albums, but in addition to that, 40 films and documentaries. So can you take a moment to talk about how and why you became involved in the film industry and about Trap Flex?
Well, starting off in the music industry, the reason there's so many albums is because that's how I pay my bills. So a new album means new money. You can't live off your old album forever, even though I still get a residual from that. That's why it's so many albums. I've been doing it over 31 years. At the time of that 100 albums, that was in the early 2000s. but from the early 2000s, you could add another 20 years now, and I don't even know exactly how many albums. I started making the films in '99 was my first film. 2007 was my second film. And then 2008, 2009, I did a few more films. When I moved to Atlanta, the film cover you just showed was my first film in Atlanta. And people could see my talent within this movie. You could find it on Tubi and you could find it on Trapflix. But you see the Migos, Zaytoven, Young Thug. These was guys that I was working with before the world knew them. You could find them in this movie with me. So it's like almost this film was like a prediction. Everything I said in the film, it actually came true. So the film side of it, I approached it like the rap side, like making an album. So every new film is new money, is new fans, it's adding more fans to my platform. It's like being independent. If you don't have nothing for sale, why do we owe you money? Where's your money coming from? You have to have a product. So that's why I always create so much. When I got the flow going, I try to take advantage and keep going. Just keep going, make something new. And then when it's time, you back up from that and then you dive into something else. That's the same principle of independency. You must do it yourself, so that's really my testimony, that I was blessed to learn that there is no mystery God coming. Nobody owes you anything, black man. I think the Quran says something about you only get out of this life what you go get. So
What you
actually
strive for.
it's nothing that's actually owed to you. Like something can be your destiny, but you still have to do your part to be part of your destiny. And I think that's something when I talk to people, some people do get disappointed when they want to work with me. And I tell them, we got to take the long road. And I don't know, by telling the truth sometimes to an artist, I don't know if like they don't just, every artist don't accept that conversation. Like they might smile with me and talk with me, but I can see on their face what they say, your countenance has fallen, you was just happy. Now you looking kind of, because I'm telling them the truth, like nothing finna happen overnight. Man, these people, man, you could plug me with them, Yeah, but even plugging you with that, we still got to do some walking. At a certain point, we're going to jog. And then at a certain point, when we see the door crack, we run. But you got to jog to see what's available. You got to walk to see what's available, doors you can even go through. Because waiting right here, they not coming just because you're a good artist. So I think in this generation, they want that popcorn. They want that microwave. I want to be Future. I want to be Young Thug. I want to be Snoop Dogg. Nah, brother, you got to work still, too. It's easier to blow up in your time. Back in our day, I couldn't, if I want to send a demo out, I got to use FedEx. I got to use priority mail, and I got to use regular mail. That's how you got a message to somebody in another city. And then you wait days and days and hope for a response coming back to your address or calling your phone number, which was a house phone number. We all got one number, and ain't no cell phone, ain't no email. Let me email you. So my hustle in this modern time is great for me because I understand you must utilize the tools that's in front of you. And in the past, like I said, you got to wait weeks, maybe months to hope for a response from something that you spent $30, $40 to send priority mail. And you still ain't got to receive. That.
And what about what about with Trapflix?
Trapflix is something I started in 2015, a streaming mobile platform, something that allowed me to be my own platform. I invested some money into that, and I hooked up with Snoop Dogg, Dame Dash, and then a lot of problems start coming because before there was Tidal with Jay-Z, JT had Trapflix streaming. Not to say that I'm better or nothing. It's just I had the concept and the thought process. I need to be my own platform. On other platforms, you can be kicked off. They could say you violated the community guidelines and all these different things. And I been a victim of that, losing my account. And these accounts, I got real people I'm doing business with. They just cut your account off, and then you just got to start from scratch. So I'll end up losing Trapflix based upon the developers. Once I came out and blew up, they blew up too. So bigger money came to get them. And then I couldn't find nobody to continue to help me with Trapflix. So I end up going to Africa for a couple different reasons. But one of the reasons was find me somebody that knows software. They're in Africa. They're in one of these villages. They're extremely smart. They're right here somewhere. And that's how I pursued it. I didn't look at their clothes. I didn't look at none of that. It's a guy that don't got no kind of dress, nothing. He looked like he could be homeless. And this guy have a master's degree in technical software. And these are the people that I pursued when I was there. I did music, I did film, but finding software engineers there was plentiful. It's plentiful. The black man is amazing. The conditions look horrible, but the brain power is still the same.
Right. And it's interesting you bring up Africa, because that was my next question. Talk about like what, I know you say you the first time you went to Africa was in 2017.
Actually,
based upon what I saw.
2007 was my first time in Nigeria
2007.
with Snoop Dogg. But in terms of this new phase, 2017, 10 years later, I got invited over there.
So talk about what caused you to get invited over there, and what was that experience like?
I got invited based upon my skill set. A brother named Bukare, and he is in Ouagadougou, the city in a country called Burkina Faso. That's the capital city. He saw my work and what I was doing with films and magazines. I'm a rap artist. Like basically my independence and entrepreneur skills made it to Africa. And he wanted me to come and see how he can entice me or invite me or whatever to come there and help their young population that they was having problems with. They started joining terrorism. When hunger kick in and ISIS offer you a deal, to, at least you got food, you got camaraderie, but one day you might got to blow yourself up. You know, some people chose that instead of starving. So that was the purpose of being invited. I went there maybe 2 or 3 times after being invited. I built some water wells. I saw the need for help. I saw the opportunity to make history again. That I know this is not popular. This is not normal. I don't know guys who just fly to Africa and just be over there, then come back and go back and forth like it's nothing, except the people who actually from there. They're comfortable going back and forth. But as far as a regular Black American black man, I've heard of people who go, but I never got to meet anyone that could say, "Oh yeah, I got friends over there in Africa. I can help you out. I can call and get you connected." So I knew if I did that, I could definitely be making history for myself, for my family, because I brought my wife and my children. We lived in Burkina Faso 15 months. I moved to Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, stayed there for 2 years. I came back this January. I laid a strong foundation. I bought land. I built some more water wells. Just that whole experience, it make me international now.
Yeah, and
because
talk about
I'm known in these villages. Now my name is even bigger now. Why? Because I used to live there. They didn't really know who they had living with them. Now that I'm gone, they like, man, this the guy right here. They seeing me all over the internet, and they telling friends and family like, man, that's our guy.
Yeah,
that's our brother right there.
And then one of the beautiful things, you came over there, but you also added, and you touched on, I want you to go more in depth in it as well. So I asked you this, talk more about the water wells that you built. I think you also gave some money for schools to be built or something like that too.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk about that, man?
Well, this the first thought. When I went to Africa, I already knew they had oil, diamonds, gold, and all that. So when they talking about they paying for first class round trip tickets, hotel, all my food, all the transportation. So I'm like, I'm going to Africa. I'm finna get some money. I'm finna meet one of these kings or CEOs or something like that. Man, I get over there. I don't see none of that. But I see a whole lot of need. And I'm like, man, so my mind switched from how much money can I get out of Africa to let me go ahead and maybe I got invited over here so I could be the one helping them. So these pictures, the brother I got my arm around, that's him who paid for me. This is my first trip over there in 2017. On my first trip, I spent $6,000, $7,000 to build this water well. And from there, I became part of the village because they're like, nobody just builds a water well and leave. I'm like, man, I just want the blessing from God. I want God to see that I came and got a work done that's tangible. That's not me just talking. Like that these 10,000 villagers benefit off that pipeline of water right there for free. But normally when somebody build a water well, you could get 5 cents a gallon or for 2 gallons or something. 5 cents, 10 cents, you know. But I was like, nah, I don't want that on my resume that I came to make money off of. So I called the well Mama Pearl Water Well, named it after my mother's sister Pearl Muhammad.
Wow.
So I could just tell her, look, Ma, I did this in your name. It got your name on it. This is free water. These people, they got to drink dirty water in a lot of places. They got to drink contaminated water. They got to drink water where animals is bathing and people bathing, but that's the same water you got to use to cook your dinner tonight. So that made my heart, putting the money toward the school, they getting the school built. So I'm like, let me contribute to help finalize the school. Let me help pay for the rice for the students, because a lot of the students, they come to school hungry. They start falling asleep in class. They didn't eat today. They got to work the field 3, 4, 5 in the morning and still be at school at a certain time. And sometimes they don't eat, So my participation was purely so the God could bless me later one day when I'm hungry and my family
Praise
hungry.
be to Allah. And
Paying it
thank you.
forward.
Thank you for doing that. And I know that meant so much for them. And I know that they greatly appreciate it, because if you're growing up in an area where you don't have much, when somebody does that, you appreciate it. And I want to ask you this. You mentioned your mother, you mentioned Pearl Muhammad. So how did you come into contact with the teachings? Because in the clip, you mentioned like right before the Million Man March. How were you introduced to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
The first time I heard the name Farrakhan, I was locked up as a juvenile. I was 16 years old, and it was in 1990 he came to San Francisco to speak, and it was it was like a home pass to go see this man named Farrakhan. I never heard his name. I didn't know nothing about Islam. I didn't know the name Islam. And the counselor asked, if you Muslim, you could go on this field trip. So some people he took in the back and he asked him about, Muslim. And then me and my friend, he like, come on, let's tell him we Muslim. But he knew what to do. I didn't know what to do. So he said, if you Muslim, how do Muslims pray? And I did like this. And my friend did like this. He let him go and he didn't let me go. But that was my first introduction. Fast forward to the Final Call newspaper that had the 4 black men on there with the target, young black youth targeted or something. And it had 4 black youth standing there with like somebody trying to shoot them with a bullseye. And then it said something about Mac 10s, Mac 11s being distributed to the hood. And I'm like, ooh, I'm trying to see what they talking about. Then in 92, after the Rodney King riots, a friend of mine said, let's go in the mosque and see what these Muslims talking about. Because they was across the street where we sold the drugs and all that. So going in the mosque, my friend stayed 20 minutes and was like, come on, let's go. I was like, oh, I'll be out in a few minutes. Let me hear this. And I ended up staying and accepting the teachings that day. That was June of 92. Yep. And January 95, January 4th, 95, I recited.
Praise
But
be
my
to Allah.
mama, I brung to the meeting in 94. Her first mosque meeting was October 7th, 1994. The minister was in Ghana, and we rented a satellite to beam it to our community center right there at the basketball gym, and got the truck and the screen, to watch. So she accepted that day, but she ended up October November. By December 13th, my mama had already recited before me. So I'm
Wow.
like, oh no, I gotta hurry up. So January 4th, yep, I did mine. And
Praise
that's how
be
we
to
did.
Allah.
And my
Beautiful.
sister, she in the mosque now. My little sister, did all her family, they in the mosque. So she just was like, we part of your tree. I was the least likely baddest child, going to juvenile, selling drugs, guns, everything that you could think bad. But I was the one Allah used to bring it back to my household. My mama was mad when I threw her pork out and her cigarettes. And she was like, God damn it, you gonna get out of here. You can't throw my stuff away. We've been eating this for years. I'm like, Mama, look, right here on this page, right here. She's like, I don't want to hear nothing from no Muslims. Them people haters down there. I'm like, Mom, can you just come with me to one meeting then? She's like, I don't know what they telling you, but I see some type of change in you. So I'm going to just go and just to see. But I'm telling you, these is haters. After the minister finished, and I told him, this my mama coming in. He like, oh, yeah, okay. We're going to work on her. And then from there, Allah just made her change her mind. She like, man, I'm
Man.
sorry, son. You was right. You was
Man.
right.
That's
You
a
was right.
blessing. That's a blessing, man, because some of us come in and it's just us and then the family we produce. But for your mother, for your family, for your younger sister and now her family, that's a blessing, man. You definitely, when listening to you, man, as you probably know already about yourself, you have great leadership qualities, man, and you're able to influence people. So that is a blessing that Allah has shaped you in that way, brother. That's definitely a
The
blessing. And
Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told me right up the street, right here at the mosque. The minister that's from the mosque, Minister Christopher at that time, Mosque 26, he was amazed that how I can go get 100 guests and bring them to the mosque. I'm talking about every week for I don't know how many weeks it was, but I was averaging 75 to 125, 110
wow.
every Sunday. And he like, man, you like, brother, I got to tell Minister Farrakhan about this brother. Because you so consistent and you doing it with ease and you doing it by yourself. When I finally met Minister Farrakhan, he just was smiling after he heard about the work. And he was like, brother, I just want to tell you, did you know that you was born to lead? And I was like, yeah, brother minister, I use my rap skills and I go out and use my fame from that. But I tell them, you got to come with me to the mosque before we go to the studio or before we go do something. I always put the mosque in there some kind of way. Like if we going, y'all just come stop over here. My mother cooking the food, whatever it was of the bait that I had to use to get them to the seat at least one time. If they don't never come back, the minister said, all you got to do is get them there one time. After that blood off your hands. So when he told me that, and then he told me something about, brother, they gonna sing your songs all over the world. This before I ever
went to Africa and all of
I
that.
went to Africa 2007, but April, who was it? Nah, let me tell you what date. May 22nd, 2002. That's the date. I got them dates down packed. May 22nd, 2002. He said you was born to lead, and brother, they gonna be singing your songs all over the world. And I'm like, man, he don't gas nobody up. So I'm like, damn, but I'm still not a good person yet, or I'm not all the way righteous yet. I'm like, how that's gonna happen? I didn't tell him that, but in my mind, I'm like, he telling me this, but damn, I still got to get righteous. Like Allah know how to use whatever He's made to serve the purpose that need to be served.
And then,
And going to Africa, that right now is part of my testimony. But when I was over there, I was telling them about Farrakhan and Elijah. They kept saying, why you doing this? I say, man, it's a man named Elijah Muhammad Farrakhan. Man, he said, we supposed to help our people. And, and Allah gonna bless us. And, so they like, well, we like that. Whoever told you to do this, we thankful.
wow.
Shout out to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Shout out to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Man, you over here by yourself in some of the dangerous neighborhoods in the world, and you by yourself over here making this happen for us, brother. We love you. We thank you. I say, yeah, he the one showed me how to do it.
Wow. And
He the
man,
one showed me how to go into a dangerous place, say my prayers to Allah and the person Master Farrakhan Muhammad, and go do the good work and don't have no fear. And he always got me up out of there safely because it definitely was dangerous. But I just love my job of serving the people. That's where it was okay.
man, Allah putting on my spirit to tell you now, brother, you have a bunch of blessings stored up, brother. You have a bunch of blessings stored up, man, for what you did, like what you did then and what you're doing, man. So keep nobody's in, we are not anybody's judge, man, but you have a bunch of blessings stored up. And it's interesting that the minister told you that, because I can see that and listening to you and studying you and watching the videos, man, you have leadership capabilities. And everybody, that's a gift from Allah, brother. That's a gift. That's a gift from Allah.
I never knew that was a gift. It just seemed natural.
That's how you know.
But also, I get the most jealousy, brother. It's all type of videos on YouTube slandering me, making up stories, just saying anything. I'm like, where is the motivation coming from? What man put his wife and children on display and then be doing all these evil acts and all this scamming and finesse, like anything to discredit me? That's what I see on the internet. But it's some love videos also.
Oh yeah.
But the minister here say, brother, they slander Minister Farrakhan way worse than you, brother. Brother, they slandered the Honorable Elijah Muhammad while he was here and after he gone. And they continue. The footsteps, you got to walk in some of these footsteps that happen with those in front of you. This part of it. So learn how to deal with it. Don't feed into it. Don't cave into it. Continue the good fight. Just try your best to be the best you can, brother.
And check it out. We can't find any leader in history, those that we know in history books, and even those who may just be leaders, they're the head leading manager at Burger King, whatever. All leaders go through it. You see what I'm saying? But the mere fact that they're people who are in positions of leadership, most people are built for. So you're built for. You see what I'm saying? And what they throw dirt on your neck, like the minister gave the analogy, said there was a donkey that was in the ditch. They kept throwing rocks at the donkey. They threw so many rocks, the donkey came up out of the ditch. You feel what I'm saying? So
he walked on up.
That's the thing. Now I heard you. I found this interview that you did with David D, and I think David D was getting something to eat, and he walked in and he saw you because he's from Oakland and in that area. And he talked in the book, in the interview, he asked you about like what books you were reading, and you mentioned Message to the Black Man. Can you talk about your experience when you first read the Message to the Black Man?
The titles is what caught me. The titles of the chapters is actually what caught me. And it was interesting to see a book that's like, it's like telling you what's finna happen before it happened. A book telling you what's about to happen before it happened and while it's happening. It was just like, it was like something that I never heard of. I never had a concept of even a book like this. Like a man write a book that's finna tell you what's finna happen. I would have thought that more people would have had a bigger impact in the world, even though I can't see the impact. But I'm thinking, man, how did he write this? And then are people still messed up? Because that's part of it. Everybody not gonna listen, and Satan still got time. So Message to the Black Man was the book that made me, well, I ain't gonna say it made me, going to the mosque made me want to know more about the book and know more about the man who wrote the book and have a bigger respect for him and have to try to line my life up with what he's saying. The difficulty factor in that could run you away from the teaching. Like, man, I'm trying to line my life up to this book now, and I'm still feel like I'm still one of the regular people out here. But by joining the nation, it don't make you better, and it put more pressure on you. But to try to actually line yourself up to it, I think that book gave a lot of motivation to line yourself up, a lot of reasons why you should. And then Fall of America, definitely, like, wait a minute, this is a book with America burning. This book right here should be outlawed, I'm pretty sure, in their mind, or, they would have. But for us to get it, I just felt like I was lucky that I got a hold to these books. Because
Yeah.
my friends is not talking about these books. This ain't getting
Yeah.
talked about on the block.
You know, man, it's I was just mentioning because I'm the student minister here in the city of New Orleans, and I mentioned to the believers last Sunday ago about how, like in the Quran, when Allah says He determines who eyes He wants to have open. And, you know, I know, and we go after our people, but Allah determines it, man. And for the mere fact that you could pick up message to the black man and that you can see it, you see what I'm saying? That's Allah. That means that Allah saw something in all of us who heard this teaching. And today I was sharing with the believers just, you know, this journey, it's called a journey. It's, man, this is a journey that we're on. And sometimes a journey, we go down different roads, different weather conditions and all of that. But it's like we're not running a sprint, we're running a marathon. With a sprint, we see the finish line. The marathon, we don't. But we know if we stay on it, we're gonna see it. And that's the thing, man. It's like, you know, all of the stuff we experience in life, bro, is helping to bring us to this destination that God has us.
Yes.
And you are like, there's a reason the way that you were made, the way that you not were made or are made, that you were able to go into those different settings and be able to pull 125 people, 175 people to the mosque. There's a certain way that you're made. And that's with the pluses and the minuses. So that's why, like, none of us can judge anybody. But look at how uniquely you are made, and look at how you were able to bring people in there to be able to hear something that can change their life, even if they may have never joined the ranks. But they heard something that the seed has been planted. It may be down the line. Oh, my daddy first went to the mosque. He ain't never joined with, and then you the person that brought their daddy to the mosque. So, you know, so thank you. Thank you for that. Now, and also in the interview, I didn't know that you were present at the historic meeting that was held in Chicago after the death of Biggie and Tupac by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, right?
Right.
Can you talk
Yes,
about
sir.
that?
Yep, April 3rd, 1997. I know my dates because that's life changing. I can say this. In 96, you know, just after the Million Man March, I started fasting and praying. Like fasting. Like I fast and then I was serious on my prayer rug. I learned how to finally get on my prayer rug. I had a vision, a dream, a vision that I was sitting with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan at a table and he had a cream suit on. And I can't think of one word he was telling me. I can't hear one word. All I know, he's talking and he's smiling, telling me something. I don't know what he's saying. A year later, April 3rd, 1997, after Tupac and Biggie got killed in March 97, and Tupac got killed September 96. So April 3rd was the meeting. And Minister Christopher at that time, he said, brother, the minister calling for all the rappers, you need to be there. He had sent me there. The meeting about to start. I sit in the seat. The minister's sitting at the front. I'm sitting, and that's me behind Brother Ishmael, I think, if that's Brother Ishmael. Yeah, I'm right there next to Snoop, the tall head right there. But I was sitting at the back of the table, and the seat I was sitting in was for the owner of the Vibe, or the person, the publisher of the Vibe, Keith Clinkscale. I remember his name. And they say, brother, you can't sit here. This for Clinkscale. So when they put me up, the Minister Tony said, hey, Brother Joseph, come here. Minister Tony set me 2 seats over. Dr. Ben Chavis was there, Brother Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture, and then I was sitting next to Kwame Ture at the head of the table. I didn't ask for that. I didn't know nothing about it. In my mind, the whole time I'm there, I say none of these brothers in here love the minister more than me, and I'm going to go out here and do whatever he tell us to do, because it's a righteous competition in my mind. I want to do exactly what the minister want. That's April 3rd, 1997. Sitting there, I couldn't believe that I'm sitting right here at the head of the table on accident or fluke, but it wasn't. Allah prepared it. But in my mind, I'm soaking in every word. Little did I know, after I returned back home, when I turned back home to San Francisco, one of my friends said, when I was telling them, like, yeah, man, I was sitting next to Minister Farrakhan, man. Like, I'm in the meeting. I'm sitting right there. He say, remember when you had that dream and you came to my house and you was hella happy talking about, man, I had a dream. I was sitting next to Minister Farrakhan. I don't know what one word he said. He was telling me something, smiling. Little did I know. He reminded me, and I said, that's the meeting. He got the cream suit on. I was sitting right next to him. Blew my mind. And it took somebody else to remind me that this the dream you had. I don't know if none of the other rappers had no dream. They sitting with the minister, he got a cream suit on, and they having a discussion. I was the one that had the dream. So that's very significant to me. So anything amazing that happened for me, that has something to do with me helping my people, I got it right there. I believe in Allah that if it look impossible, let me try. Because I'm going to use my brain power to try to figure out how to do the impossible. Nothing impossible, what he told us. At that meeting, he said nothing impossible. So I'm like, okay, well then, but I always thought about, I do need 10, 20 million. Master P and them didn't got they 400 million. Birdman made his billion. I'm like, they ain't helping the people. I'm like, Allah. I never pray to Allah for money though. I say, Allah, can you bless me to use what I get what I need to take care of my family and my part of the mission. But I never asked him, oh Allah, can you bless me with $1 million? Or oh Allah, can you? But I knew in my mind, I say, I got the best teaching. How is it that these brothers making the money on a level and they using my game? Allah was showing me, that's all right. Your time, whatever I got for you, you're going to like it when the time comes. So I'll just, be patient. I'm about to be 50 years old. I'm like, man, I still ain't got the 10 million yet or the 20. Man, I go to every mosque in the country right now and go help fill every mosque because I know what to do, how to help. Like when you just said you the student minister, I'm like, New Orleans, this is a place that got bloodshed. This is a place I done came, almost died. The shootouts that I was down, I wasn't part of, by the way. I was with people who got enemies in New Orleans. We
Yes, sir.
They come through spraying, talking about ain't no movie today. So shout out
That's
to
New Orleans, man.
But I got so much love in them projects that I would love to come be a servant in New Orleans and help break the record.
Yo, it's
most guests in one day.
Yeah, man, we got to talk because it's interesting. And I said I'm gonna talk to you offline, man, because listening to you and recognizing your leadership, your intelligence, your creativity, you think outside the box. I say I wanted to pick your mind and get your insight. So inshallah, we'll have some conversations offline. But yes, I see the genius in you, man. I'm telling you, brother. And for you, and you have that. You have that ain't no mystery God spirit. You're a go-getter. You're not. Sometimes some of us fall victim to paralysis by analysis. We want to analyze and then nothing gets done. But you have that spirit, and that's a special quality. And I'll transition to this question about you. Definitely, we want to break some records down here, but we're gonna, inshallah, we're gonna talk, man.
Yes, sir.
You in that clip, we didn't get a chance to show all of it, but in the rest of the clip, you talked about how you were approached by like some business execs, not music execs, and they was trying to tell you make a certain content as it relates to the music. And sometimes I've had discussions online and offline with people, and when they trying to be hard on rap music and like, man, that's them, they making that stuff. Some people don't believe that there's some of these executives that's actually openly pushing people to make certain content, or they manipulate people, or they put the carrot in front of them and like, yo, you got to do this. Can you talk about what you've seen?
Brother, I signed with Priority Records, and of course Priority Records had a guy named Ice Cube. Before I ever got there, they started having problems with their artist named Ice Cube. When Ice Cube got connected with the minister, that began to be a problem for them. So for my first deal, when I signed with them, I didn't sign with them and they didn't know nothing about the nation. But once I signed and I started talking about the Million Man March, that's when I got approached about the music I'm turning in don't have enough of the bees and the holes and the guns, the drugs, the drive-bys, the robbery, the murder, the mayhem. I pulled that back. because I thought this my deal. I wasn't realizing that they gonna try to force me, even though they just pressed a little. But I'm so strong-headed and confident in me as a black man. You know, I told them, look, this is my album. I'm gonna make the album I'm making, because I didn't sign with y'all as an artist. When I gave them that answer, they like, all right, do what you gonna do. When they put my stuff out, it didn't come out with hardly no support. So I flopped. Master P, he put all the Murder Mayhem. Shout out to Master P. He was more comfortable with that. I wasn't comfortable with promoting that, and they took him to the top of the world. They took him, and that I got approached, and they like, when we signed you, you was talking about guns, dope, killings, robbing, jacking, high speed chase. You know, now you talking more positive, and you know that's okay. But where's the other stuff? And when I told them, I said, man, the Million Man March this year, so next year I'll do all that, but this year I want to talk something more positive. They like, oh, okay, let's do what you want. And they just let me phase out. And I phased out, walked away with my masters, my copyright, my publishing. I never made the big money, and I just been independent ever since then.
Wow.
Yep.
And what are you,
And
so
I'm
what
like,
are
I
some of
thank
the,
Allah that he gave me independency, because even if I never became a mega star, I still been a star to me and my family, because I go get money for my family off my own talent. So I'm a star at home. If nothing else, I'm a star in my house. And that's the best feeling of, you know what I mean? If your wife and your children happy, thank you, daddy. Thank you, husband. Yeah, I got a new album. I don't got to sell enough. Long as we going to pay rent for the next 6 months,
that's
school
it.
fees, charity, everything that matters in life, if we could just do that until further notice. That's what my 30 years have been. Some months been better, some years have been better, some perks been bigger. Buy my wife a house, she don't own no mortgage, it's paid for. Bought my mama a house, it's paid for. Bought some land for my family, it's paid for. These are the things that matter. I done had Mercedes Benz and Sprinters, BMWs, Corvettes. I done bought every dream car almost. It's a couple more I would like to own. Brother, I'm not even materialistic. When our family budget look a certain way, man, that car's gone. We don't got that car no more, man. I'm in a Toyota right now. I love it too. A Toyota Avalon. It's a regular car. It's cool. Nobody looking at it. I got a sport button. So the reality of not selling my soul for fame and fortune and money, I learned the humbleness through the teaching is what made me don't feel like Allah threw me in the garbage because I didn't make it to be big as Master P or Snoop Dogg or Puffy. But I know I deserve it too, but I deserve it if Allah give it to me. And if he said, brother, I don't want that for you. I want you to be on the level you on and you ball out on your level. Well, then I'm happy with balling out on that level. Why? Because I've got to pay bills for my family. So I don't care about the other fame and fortune. I care more about my part that I got to play for my family.
Wow.
Straight up.
You,
I ain't selling my soul. I ain't selling my soul because I see regret in certain people's faces. I see Master P trying to promote peace now and, you know, promote unity and all. But when he got the money, it's hard. That's why I could see Allah didn't let me get all that kind of money, because I probably would have forgot the mission, forgot my life purpose, forgot the meeting with the minister about help lead your people in the right way. So, you know, disappointment is real.
That's real.
Yep. Disappointment real.
That's
Yep.
real,
But
brother.
I said, I don't want to be blasphemy and be disappointed in the God. No, I felt like maybe I just didn't make a good enough positive album. So I justify flopping, saying I just didn't make a good enough positive album because negativity was selling. Nobody want to hear no album sound like you preaching. So your creative approach to penetrating your viewer, if I would have knew what I knew now, I would have gave them some negative more mixed with a proper balance. I just went left. I leaned all the way positive and forgot. Damn it, the community ain't
Gradual.
ready for that just yet.
Gradual. And that is the thing. But the beauty of it, man, you are still alive and you still have more life in you, you know, and
Yes,
they've
sir.
done research to show that like most people start right around the age of 40, 50 is when people start getting into the millions. And listen, I can tell from listening to you, you have a bunch of ideas, man. Your mind is always working. So you just get the grind, and now you got that experience and what you've learned. Keep grinding. And it's interesting how what you're doing in Africa. And I just heard where what's our brother's name, man? Can't. No, that's probably on me. I'm a mute you. That's probably me. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. He jumped off, man. We're going to get him right back. But we got to bring our brother right back. Let me see. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. We'll be right back. And this is JT. Let me pull up his while we get him on. Get that book if you can. Peace. We're having some technical difficulties, but I hope our brother is able to get back on. We see the comments that everybody is making as well. We appreciate you. We see Sister Tawan, Michael, Patricia, Brother Roosevelt, Horace. We see you all, Michael, all of y'all. We appreciate your comments. Hopefully he can get back on. So we'll see what's up. If not, we just might have to do a part 2. But brother has a wealth of knowledge, and if you watch any of the videos about him online, he helped to, he shared what he knew about the hip hop, the independent game. And Master P was in the same city he was, and Master P ended up leaving the Bay Area and coming back to this actual area. And you know what happened with the history of Master P. But there are many of the artists that he helped to share his independent grind and independent hustle with, So I don't know if he may be able to come back, but we were just nearing the end of the interview anyway. I wanted to ask him one more question. But what I was trying to say is, Akon, the hip hop artist, was talking about how if African Americans want to become millionaires, they can actually go to Africa because it's wide open. And our brother is actually doing work. And now here he is, right here we go. Let's bring him back. We got him back. All right, my brother. Got you back,
Sorry
my
about that. I forgot my phone supposed to be charging. I didn't even plug it in. I had to plug the phone in. I hope
I
y'all
got no.
can
We
hear me.
back. We back. I was just saying that I heard Akon on an interview recently. He was talking about how if black people in America who seek to make money, that Africa is wide open, and you're over there. You're back here in America right now, but it's out there, man. And opportunities are out there. And I want to ask you this question: what are some of the things you're involved in now that you can share, being that you're back home?
My biggest thing I'm involved with is my new app called Trapflix. I'm
Okay.
looking to, because Trapflix is one thing, but I have another app called Feel More Africa. That app is going to be something that connect us directly with the people over there specifically. You know what I mean? Specifically, having my own platform, it just give me more leverage. I'm in pursuit of more software developers here in America, if possible. I have a number of developers across the seas, but finding some of those people here in America, the value of that over here is like this. What I paid for in Africa over here would cost me $150,000, but I probably spent $10,000. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the distance sometimes and the delay when I ask for something, there's a delay in African time. They 12 hours ahead, 8 hours in certain countries. Not so. The schedule, you got to be up at 4 in the morning if you want to have a conversation. 3 in the morning, 2 a.m. You got to be up to discuss your concerns, changes you want to make. So, with any money, let me give you an example. Watching those that I've helped that they've made 100 million, 200 million, all these millions, right? That's their money. That's their blessing. I'm not part of those numbers. But the way for me to catch up to them same numbers is through software. For instance, you can make $100 million quicker through software than being a rapper. You got a whole lot of shows to do to make that 100 million. You got a lot of touring, publishing deals. So I'm not saying like Beyonce, oh, okay, that's different. She could do 100 million. She probably already had 100 million this year and the year not over with. But for someone like me, having a powerful social media platform and or streaming service and or access to create these different software platforms that are licensable, meaning that, yes, this is my platform, but I'm going to license it to this person, that person for their own content, for their own usage. Like Bill Gates licensed Microsoft. Steve Jobs hoarded iOS strictly for Mac computers only. This program was not available. Bill Gates, my program is available for anyone, everyone and all, because he was able to make his billions by licensing fees. And Steve Jobs said, we're going to make our billions through our own product. So now I'm going to take the Bill Gates approach and keep my hand in the original coding for any of these apps or platforms. If I own the coding, I can license. And I feel I have a better chance of making that $100 million that I never got to make. I can make it now through these things called applications. Now they got this new thing called AI. The AI brain can help you write your code for any app you trying to do. Imagine you made an app that can make apps now. You get what I'm saying? Like, so for those of us who not familiar with coding or original platforms or original website, you're going to be a slave to other platforms. You're going to be at the mercy of Instagram, Facebook. If you start to say the wrong thing, bam, you out of there. Like Brother Rizzler, I think he was saying something about the vaccine or something. Bam. Next thing you know, he popping up on the America's Most Wanted, what they call it, the anti-vax liar.
The 12, yeah, they had them on the and even with this network that we're a part of, Closing the Gap broadcast, because is also streamed on YouTube. They recently canceled the channel on YouTube and all of the subscribers that they had built up. But we definitely need that, my brother. We definitely need that. And I ain't no prophet or anything like that, but I can see you accomplishing what you have in mind, man, because of what you've done already. Just remember, as you already know, because people who have that hustle and entrepreneurs, you're not a victim to fear. Most people never jump off into it because they'd be afraid. But just remember, you're on that journey. Pace yourself, be patient, and keep grinding, bro. Keep grinding,
Yes, sir,
JT.
brother.
Keep
Yes, sir,
grinding,
brother.
man. So we're coming to the end of the interview. Are there anything you wanted to say that you didn't get a chance? People are loving what you're saying too, man.
Oh, well, shout out to everybody on the chat. I can't see all the words. I see it every now and then something come across. But this what I do want to say. This what I do want to say that I didn't say and you didn't ask. In that summertime of '92, when I went to my first MOS meeting, and my second MOS meeting, my third MOS meeting, my first time in FOI class, I wasn't even registered yet. They like, this brother done bought 100 papers. He ain't even registered. He out in the hood. I'm out here selling my paper, and I'm getting my money off my paper, but I wasn't doing it for the money. I was just excited that I bought me 100 papers from the nation. This the thought that came to me. this my prayer, this was my thought, and this was my vision that I thought could actually happen. That I could be the first rap artist in the world to get on and actually help my community. Actually, whatever Allah bring me, use it for the community. Use it. So I have 30 years of testing out, using whatever I had to try to make something happen for the mosque. When the mosque needed buses, I paid for it. When whatever we needed, I was like, I want to be the first artist that actually helped the mission. You see what I'm saying? Like, with no fear, I don't care. Oh, you with Farrakhan? Yeah, I'm with Farrakhan. Oh, but you still a nigga like us. Okay, cool. That's what you're saying. But I'm in transition. Yep, I'm coming from that, but I don't want to be that no more. I already lived that. What dummy want to stay the same? So I had to deal with pressures, peer pressure, getting talked to a certain way. Like, I'm not cool no more. You with the Muslims, and like they taking your money. You keep putting too much behind that. And what about your mom and your family? And I'm like, I got a chance to live that I tried whatever I had that Allah gave me, that I tried my best with it. So any rewards that are coming, it will be based upon that I wasn't scared to sacrifice, and I wasn't scared of what people said. It didn't feel good, and no, I was not happy about it.
That's a nice life.
But I just said, well, let me hold on, because if Farrakhan holding on, then I better hold on. And he going through worse stuff than me, and I'm just on a little bitty, small, hardly nothing level. But I just want people to know, whatever that thought that you got, because you don't have to be a rapper to get the same thought that Allah put in your head about something great. Sacrifice for it. If it's going to benefit the minister, the nation, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, if it's going to benefit, take a chance on it. Yes, it might be some rough times or whatever, but even with your finances and your personal time to get a job done, that the mosque don't have to ask for and shouldn't have to. It's that you applied yourself, and then the God come right in and make the thing that you tried to do and stepped out on faith, it popped for the mosque. It helped out. You got the job done. That is, I think, my testimony. I listened to the minister. He say, you got to do it. Quit looking at me as I got to do all this work. What time, when do you activate your Messiah power? You part of the Messiah. You part of the Mahdi, the Christ. So how could you claim that and then you don't activate your piece of belief that's within you to see a great light come forth, or an activity or some greatness that we need in this hour? So that's my testimony to give back to all of us, because we all got a connection, but I don't think we stepping out on the faith part yet. Rent might be due, but the rent man gonna have to wait. Shout out to my wife Aisha. We gotta help the mosque first. Plenty times that whatever other bill got to hold on. Why? This is important for our mosque. Yeah, and we not part of the family that's here to just be here. We are part of the sacrificing family. We got to make sure lights is on. We got to make sure teachers pay. We got to make sure whatever transportation, anything, because the God have been so good and merciful to us. We owe everything, brother, everything. And this is my last point. To message to the FOI. I was surrounded by brothers trying to rob me with these AK-47s. I didn't bother them. I just happened to be worth some money, and they knew that maybe he got some money. I always remember the minister said that you are not supposed to die on your knees begging your life from a white man or a black man. And saying the refuge prayer, I said that prayer probably 6-7 times before the bullets start flying. It wasn't that I couldn't have gave up my money. It was that I didn't feel like giving up my money to brothers I didn't help before, fed their families. I didn't hire them. I didn't pay for studio time. And then one day, after 3-4 years of me working with them, they decide, we're going to rob you today. But I just want to say to the FOI, you call on Master Farrakhan Muhammad in the name of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And if you don't feel like getting robbed today, you're not getting robbed today. If you don't feel like running or giving up or whatever, you call on a God, because dying on your knees will feel worse than dying as standing up as a man. So that testimony for Allah to give me my life back when these bullets was ripping through my body and I could still walk, have babies, and the whole thing like nothing happened. That's the power of the God and the refuge prayer, brother, because some of us gonna be put in situations where a gun is being pointed at you and a brother. Don't never run and leave your brother. I seen it happen out here, and a brother left a brother, got in a situation, called some more registered brothers to come. One ended up coming. These brothers pulled out guns. The brother who went and got a brother ran and left his brother, and they killed our brother. So we in a time of gunplay, and a gun might be pointed, but you call on Allah no matter what happened, and never run and leave your brother, whatever you do, and just stand your ground. I'm not saying rush him and act tough. I'm saying let the God guide you. Because that split second when the gun, you might have to grab it, and now we on for the, because gunplay is out here. It's real.
It's
So
real.
I just want to say that. I just want to share that, because that was my life and death situation.
Praise be to Allah. And like I said, man, a lot, you stored up blessings, brother. And the mere fact that you can be in a situation where somebody draws AK-47s on you and they fire you and you still here talking shows that you have some blessings stored up with the God. Continue to keep working, man. We're gonna build. I'm gonna hit you up. It'll probably be tomorrow, but we'll talk when your schedule is, because I want to pick your mind, man, and shoot some stuff off and learn from you. And we're gonna talk, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir, man.
Assalamu alaikum to all the believers, man. Allah bless the believers, man, with peace, with guidance, with protection that we all need, including you, brother, and your family, and the flock that you over, man. I appreciate it.
Same with you, brother. May Allah bless you. Thank you.
All right, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. And see, man, wow, beautiful interview, right? And brother's a soldier, and he's one of those people that you see, he has that spirit in him. And I thank each and every one of you all who are tuning in, because we can't be great if you all wouldn't tune in and actually watch it. Continue to share this video. Continue to subscribe. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, because you know what YouTube did. But we're going to be working. We're working to get our own network as well. But continue to subscribe. This is your brother Willie Muhammad, signing off with I Have a Testimony. Peace.
God came to us to seek and to save that which was lost. He raised a man from among us.
He, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, laid the foundation. What I'm doing is something that comes from him through me, and the thing that he uses in me to do the work is my faith in him and the word that he taught. To produce men and women who wanted to clean up their life and build an independent nation for the glory of God.